Hi, I'm Tori, and tonight I'm going to share with you my model of communication. So, to start, what is communication? It's defined as the act of sending or receiving information. And I think a great quote by F. Scott Fitzgerald is that genius is the ability to put into effect what is on your mind. And I think that's such a great quote, and I think it's so apropos of what communication is, because every time we share an experience or an observation or a thought, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a reaction or advice or an opinion or to start a conversation. So I think it's a great way to kind of encapsulate what communication is. Now, communication is the bloodline of every civilization of man. Egyptians started with hieroglyphs and papyrus paper in the Library of Alexandria and trying to capture words for future civilizations. Greeks took it to a whole new level. Aristotle came up with a very thin outline of our first model of communication, where you have the speaker, you have the speech, and you're in an occasion, and then you have the audience and their effect. So the speaker holds the power. It is the speaker's job to entertain the audience, and in the speaker is the only active role. From there on, we had Claude Elwood Shannon in 1948, and he came up with our most basic model of communication, which is you have a sender, you have the channels, you have the message, and you have the receiver. It's very, very straightforward, cut and dry. From then on, we had David Berlow in 1960, and he came up with the SMCR. So you have the sender, message, channel, and receiver. And I'm going to take my model from there. So from there, I added some letters into it. I added an I and a U. I added vowels. So I have the sender, the message, the channel, the intended meaning, and the interpreted meaning, the receiver, and understanding. The sender is same as David Berlow's model. So it's the person who is sending the message out into the audience or out to a certain person. The message is, of course, the same as the information that we want to transmit, whether it be just sharing a picture of your vacation, whether it be a long post on Facebook, whether it be a quick 140 character tweet. That's what we're sending out. The channel is which way you do it. Are you using Facebook? Are you calling somebody? Are you sending a telegram, although I don't think those are operational anymore? Are you writing a book? Are you sending out that tweet? Is your communication nonverbal? Is it non-active? Is it verbal? Is it active? So that's your channel is the medium in which you are trying to communicate your message. The intended message and the interpreted message. I think that's where we get into the digital age. Because of Facebook, because of social media, there is an intention in which you send a message, and there is an interpretation of the message that you received. And I think it's very hard to dissect those in a moment-to-moment basis, so I think they should be included in our model of communication. I read an article in the Wall Street Journal that periods are now taken as passive-aggressive in text messages. But growing up, you were taught to use a period at the end of each sentence because that's what gave your thought finalization. Now it's what gives your thought anger. So it's a very interesting juxtaposition that we're in right now. And then moving on, you next have receiving. And receiving is going to be the person to who the message is for. And then finally, you have understanding. Did that message hit the mark? Did they understand what you were trying to say? Or did they take their own interpretation of it and go the other way? I think that it's important to clarify that without understanding, your communication is not complete. The message is still open and the dialogue is still happening. I chose this communication because I wanted it to extend to everybody within communication, and now you have so many people who only use social media, who only use that digital age of communication. So I think it's important to incorporate them and the flaws within it, which is we don't always get the intended meaning that we're trying to send out, and people don't always interpret it the way that we want them to. All right, that's it. Thank you.